Picture this, a rainy Friday evening in a small seaside town in Devon, where the air smells of salt, vinegar, and dreams. This is the story of Alfie, a 20-something lad from Manchester, who set out on a mission that would capture the hearts of every chippy-loving Brit from Land's End to John O'Groats. Alfie was no ordinary bloke. Sure, he had a proper job at a call centre, moaning about the weather like the rest of us, but he had a passion, a proper obsession, you might say, for the great British chippy. Not just any chippy, mind you, but the perfect fish and chips. Golden, crispy batter, chips fluffy on the inside and crunchy on the outside, with a side of mushy peas so green they'd make Kermit jealous. To Alfie, a good chippy wasn't just food, it was a way of life. One dreary evening, after a particularly rubbish day at work, Alfie was scrolling through his phone, dodging spoilers for the latest Strictly episode, when he stumbled across a Reddit thread, "What's the best chippy in the UK?" The comments were a battlefield, Yorkshire folk swearing by their local, Scots banging on about their deep-fried Mars bars, and Londoners claiming their overpriced cod was an artisanal. Alfie thought, this is absolute codswallop. Someone needs to settle this once and for all. And so, the Great British Chippy Quest was born. Alfie decided he'd travel the length and breadth of the UK, from tiny coastal shacks to urban greasy spoons, to find the ultimate fish and chips. He quit his job, daft, maybe, but bold, packed a rucksack with a notebook, a phone for filming, and a bottle of malt vinegar, and set off in his mate's knackered Vauxhall Astra. His first stop was Whitby, where the Magpie Cafe had a queue longer than a bank holiday traffic jam on the M25. The fish was fresh, the batter crisp, but the portion size? Bit stingy for a tenner, Alfie muttered, filming a quick review for his YouTube channel, which he'd optimistically called Alfie's Chippy Chronicles. He gave it a solid 7/10, but the mushy peas were more grey than green, which docked it a point. Next, he headed to Anstruther in Scotland, where the locals swore by the Anstruther fish bar. The fish was so fresh it practically swam onto his plate, and the chips were hand-cut perfection. Alfie's eyes lit up as he took his first bite, the batter crunching like a proper ASMR dream. This, he said to his tiny YouTube audience of 47 subscribers, is what chips should be. A 9/10, but the lack of a proper curry sauce was a letdown. As weeks turned into months, Alfie's quest took him everywhere: Cornwall's rickety beachside vans, Belfast's no-nonsense chippies, and even a dodgy kebab shop in Birmingham that claimed to serve award-winning fish and chips. Spoiler, it didn't. His YouTube channel grew, slowly at first, then like wildfire after a clip of him trying to eat chips in a gale-force wind in Blackpool went viral. "It's like the chips are trying to escape back to the potato," he shouted, as the wind nicked half his portion. But it wasn't just about the food. Along the way, Alfie met proper characters: a Grimsby fisherman who gave him a free cod for his cheeky northern charm, a nan in Swansea who insisted he try her homemade tartar sauce, and a group of lads in Newcastle who invited him for a pint after he rated their local chippy a life-changing the 9th of May, 10. His videos weren't just reviews, they were love letters to British culture, the banter, the community, the way a good chippy could bring people together, rain or shine. By the time Alfie reached his 100th chippy, his channel had 200,000 subscribers, and he'd become a bit of a legend. People started sending him chippy recommendations on Twitter, with hashtags like #Alfie's Chippy Quest trending on dreary Tuesday nights. But the real magic happened in a tiny village in Dorset, at a chippy called the Salty Cod. It was nothing fancy, just a shed with a fryer and a couple of plastic chairs. The owner, a grizzled old fella named Reg, had been frying fish since the days of Thatcher. Alfie took one bite of Reg's cod and chips, slathered in homemade tartar and served with peas so vibrant they glowed, and he froze. "This is it," he whispered, staring into his phone camera like he'd just seen the meaning of life. "This is the one." The batter was crisp yet light, the fish flaked like a dream, and the chips were the perfect balance of fluffy and crunchy. Even the curry sauce was spot on. A perfect 10/10. Alfie's video from the Salty Cod racked up millions of views. Brits across the country declared it a national treasure, and Reg, baffled by the sudden influx of customers, had to hire his grandkids to keep up. Alfie's quest was over, but his channel kept going. He started exploring other British classics: pie and mash, Sunday roasts, even the perfect cuppa. but he never forgot that rainy evening in Dorset when he found Chippy Nirvana. So, to my UK crew watching this, what's your favourite Chippy? Drop it in the comments and maybe I'll convince Alfie to give it a go. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button. Let's keep the great British Chippy Quest alive.